Time and Tide, it's a seafood restaurant that takes its cues from a steakhouse. Large format cuts of fish in a way that maybe you've not seen before at an incredibly high level. Being an executive chef is definitely more than just cooking food. At the end of the day, this restaurant falls on me. Jamal James Kent, founder, he was building an empire. Crown Chai and Saga, both Michelin starred. This was just going to be the next chapter that we were building together. Just a couple months before we were set to open the restaurant, Jamal passed away. And so now it's on us to just be the stewards of his legacy. What's happening, y'all? I'm Danny Garcia. I'm the executive chef here at Time and Tide in New York City. Let's get off the street and come check it out. We're gonna head into the kitchen, see what the sous chefs got going on. We were super fortunate with this restaurant we started from the ground up. There was nothing here, so we really got to design the kitchen from the floors all the way to the ceiling. We have the hot line, all the hot food comes off of here. Most of pastry production and additional production is back here. This is pastry service station. So during dinner service, all of pastries are coming off here and their production in the back. In the back corner here, we have kind of more robust kitchen equipment, liquid nitrogen for ice cream, dough sheeter. This is like our private events and production kitchen. So this little nook really does the workhorse of all of our prep and all of our mise en place. The hotline designed from the Nomad. We wanted a prep area that was kind of self-contained, also could function as an event space, but didn't really have too much interaction with the hotline during dinner service or a busy night. I think for any standard, this kitchen is massive. For New York City, this kitchen is enormous. It's usually about 15 to 17 people in the kitchen on a bustling day. We're doing 250 guests on a busy night. Dry goods, dry storage, kind of treated like a grocery store where everything's kind of lined up and organized how we want it and where we want it. Dish station to the left, and then all of our walk-ins. So this is our cold room, our butcher room. The idea is that we fabricate all of our proteins in here. All the fish comes in, it goes directly to Ishmi and Miguel. It's usually at 50 degrees or just below 50 degrees, but it's always cold all the time. It is 10 o'clock. I've got a meeting that I need to get into for some finance, so we actually need to go and get into that right now. The restaurant is only 3.5 weeks. So Cal and I, Cal, the GM of Time and Tide, we're jumping on a call with Ryan, who does the analytics for Kent Hospitality. Basically, we have a meeting every Tuesday morning. We run through the previous week's revenue, sales, drivers on the menu, what's selling, what's not selling.
I think there's room to make price adjustments in both directions. Lots of the reviews have said, it's very pricey.
Are there placements on the menu specifically where we can move it?
Maybe there's a way to reduce the price on the Swordfish if it's running at a 10% margin, something like
sure.
that.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
I would say 75% of my responsibilities as chef are business management. I mean, definitely super different than any other restaurant that I've ever worked in, that we have an analytics team. So it's about 10:45. It's definitely time to change, get into the kitchen, get on a cutting board, and get some stuff rolling. Do you want to grab this hog with me? Yeah. We've got swordfish. These are aged. We're gonna take this one, which is from a week and a half ago. We're gonna take this and break this. We'll need it for service tonight and for tomorrow, so we're just gonna kind of get up on portions. This is probably a 70-pound fish. You have the top loin and the belly, basically just splitting open the fish so that I can get it into smaller pieces to be able to work with it more efficiently. Justin, he's the culinary director of Kent Hospitality. His grandfather owns a fishing company out of Long Island. Since we don't have a bandsaw here, instead of a saw, he came back with a straight machete. And he was like, well, this is how my grandfather used to break down fish. But this knife works really nicely because the bones on the swordfish are pretty easy to get through. So I'm scraping the bones, just any extra meat that was left on it. I want to take it off. But really, just because we're serving it on the bone, I want this to be clean so when it does get roasted, it just catches a nice color and roasts really nicely. Just gotta call Cal real fast. Yeah, you got a second to come up for one more menu update? We did not get very good sardines in today. So we're gonna scratch it, but we're gonna play the game of doing monk liver mousse for the first time.
No way.
Yeah, candy pistachio, Concord gelée, celery. So the overall thought of the restaurant. Like, what does a seafood restaurant look like if it took its cues from a steakhouse, right? What's our answer to a ribeye? Hey, let's just do dry-aged swordfish and cut it in this like chop almost that is really our ribeye. So now we're cutting out the steaks. And then, again, because we don't have a bandsaw, we do the old-fashioned way. That's about 12 to 13 ounces. So the bone is running along the entire spine. So as you serve it, we'll cut it straight down here. You'll get the bone in, you'll get all of this beautiful cartilage, and you get the top loin, and then you get a piece of the belly as well. This is basically the bone marrow of the swordfish. So it's essentially jelly. Like, you can pop it out. Super tasty, gelatinous. It sears off really nicely. One side usually gets me about 36 portions. So whole fish, maybe I'll be in the ballpark of 70 plus if we do it right. So it's about 12:30 and we gotta go. So day's getting by pretty quickly here. Cool, so we're back at it. We are working on pithivier. Halibut pithivier starts with the halibut. So we take a fish mousse from the halibut trim that we get, a duxelle of mushroom and spinach. Those all get folded into each other. And then you get these little bricks that we wrap with spinach crepe. And then essentially the final part is what we're doing now, which is wrapping the bricks, is what we call it. It's definitely taking inspiration from a Wellington or a, pithivier is just the French version. Obviously at a seafood restaurant, we want to use seafood. So it's really about stretching the dough, pressing it so that it's really molded around the entire brick. Making sure that there's no air pockets is kind of key. So there's raw fish in the center, and then there's raw mousse around that. The moisture in the mousse and from the crepe will steam the entire inside of the pithivier while the outside is roasting. So the fork, just like an empanada or a beef patty, if you will, we're just closing and crimping down the edges. The puff pastry obviously puffs and expands, and so if it's not crimped, the two will separate, then it just doesn't work. So this is really like just an aesthetic. By no means does it make it taste better, but it definitely gives it a cute little visual. These edges all get crispy and crunchy, and it helps make it super flaky. And then this is just a little crosshatch over top, not cutting through the dough, but just cutting into it. So if you cut into it, it won't cook properly. Either the fish won't cook right or the insides will kind of like ooze out. We just made, this will be 90 for this set. This is definitely one of our highest selling items. When you slice these, you're able to see the inlay. So we know that the inlay on these is absolutely gorgeous and perfect. There's no imperfections. Same with the wrap. They look really good and sharp. So it's about almost 1:30. I'm gonna get these packed up and then we are going to get into the next project. Calvin Wong. Where are we at with crab? You ready to go? This is all 5?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Let's see how much we get, but we might end up doing more, but fly. I think we start with 3 minutes and then we go. This is Norwegian king crab for our crab tagliatelle that we're putting on the menu tonight. Super classic. Butter bermonte, if you will. A little bit of lemon juice, crab that's cooked just lightly, a little bit of chives. One of Jamal's favorite dishes, actually. So we're just checking the crab. We're just making sure it's cooked properly. I mean, a little bit of shredded is okay. Like, I want it like larger pieces. Like, take that and break that like that. Don't shred this down to nothing. When they toss it with the pasta, it's gonna break down. Okay, so we're gonna break down hiramasa real quick. I'm gonna go to the dry ager and grab fish so we can break that down. We age these for 9 days. I have one ready, which is great. Jordan, you have no oyster pan roast. Do not do any oyster pan roast mise en place. AM's portioning crab tag. They're going to cook and portion crab for you.
Price for crab tag.
30, you want to do 36? We chef. I mean, this is crunch time. It's 140. We're in the shits. My head is never just focused on one task. There's always 1,000 questions to be asked. So hiramasa, she's dried. I mean, you can tell it dried, and it's like this thing is. She's stiff as a board. But this is great. This is 9 days. This is exactly what we're looking for. So I'm going to take off the collars. We use the collars. We SFN those. Something for nothing to some guests that come in that we're excited about. And we have a couple of those guests coming in tonight. And hiramasa is a type of yellowfin tuna. This one specifically from Hawaii. You see a lot of hamachi. I think hamachi's fine. but it's just this really like mass farmed fish. I just think they're all waterlogged. I'm not really a fan of them. This hirmasa is part of our Grand Plateau. 5 bites. It's probably the most composed food on the menu in terms of like the most intricate, I would say. Just presenting fish in a way that maybe hasn't been seen before, hasn't been eaten in that way before. This is really just like showcasing just the simplicity of like food for me. You don't need 15 garnishes. You don't need 100 things to like make something this beautiful taste delicious. It really on its own is really, 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 really good. We're buzzing right now. The kitchen, it definitely seems calm in here, but like people are moving. People know that there's a lot of shit to get done. So we try to do a meeting with the team between 2 and 2:15 every single day. What's happening, y'all? What's happening, chef? Busy night. Tuna collar goes on the menu tonight. We have tagliatelle replaces oyster pan roast tonight. Monk liver mousse is going to replace the sardine toast for the evening. Yo, last night, incredible job. We had walk in the door, like unannounced. We did a really, really great job of making it happen. So like, food looked great. Put eyes on the prep list if you haven't. If we don't have anything else, let's have a good service. Wait. It's about 2:30. Doors open at 5:30 for guests. So from here on out, it's really like balls to the walls, making sure we're set up and ready to go for tonight. It's almost 3:30. We've got till 3:55, guys. So let's just touch base on all of our mise en place and where we're at. Organizing prep at Time and Tide basically consists of using the app called Opsy. It's basically this intuitive system that connects what we are actually working on through a live document where our cooks are able to say what they're working on, how many of each item they might have. So each station has their own particular prep list with their items and needs for that station. Okay, so let's look at Fluke and let's see how many portions you have and what you need. So you have 24 breaded, you have 20 salads. This isn't counting anything that you just did. Swordfish, did you put it in yet?
Last night we finished with 22, and then this morning you portioned out 90 for tomorrow, today and tomorrow.
Okay, cool. For me, this gives these guys the opportunity to really just be able to say like, okay, it's my Monday, I'm coming in, I know what I'm looking at, I know what I'm doing, I know what they're doing. Again, it's kind of in that ballpark of woo! Chef. This is our Time and Tide matchbook. And then the 10% of green. Yo, these are tough. Who designed these? Give that guy a raise. We're gonna finish walking through, making sure everyone's got what they need and get ready for service. So it's almost 4 o'clock, 3:55. We call 5 minutes. We put all of our mise en place away. We scrub down the entire kitchen and basically get ready for service.
5 minutes, wait!
The 5 minutes originated at 11 Madison Park. This idea of just having like a reset moment in the kitchen. You're working, you're bustling, things get crazy. And so having this moment to really scrub and reset the kitchen before service. We did it at the Nomad, we do it at Crown Shy, so everything gets polished and broken down. I have a reservation meeting with our dining room management and our hosts and maitre d', so we're gonna change and we're gonna get out there for that.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
We are sitting right around 150 covers, but 6 p.m.s do have to turn for that 8:15 push at the end of the night. We have 6 birthdays coming in tonight, and then 5s and 6s scattered throughout.
Particularly when there's like something like a big celebration or whatever, we want to make sure that we're acknowledging it at least 3 times over the course of the evening. So as soon as they walk in the door, when the server greets them, and then at the end of the evening with the celebration, like treat or moment.
We take it to the next level of making sure that we take notes on all of our guests. If you are left-handed, if you like sparkling water, the little things and the small details we like to focus on. So we have 30 minutes until lineup. So everyone's gonna grab a bite, take a few minutes, and then we'll get set up and really dive into tasting. It is 5 o'clock on the dot. I'm gonna drop these off with the dining room, chat with them, and then I'm going to start tasting at the Raw Bar. What's happening, y'all? What's happening? We've got another really amazing dish that I'm excited about that I think is super delicious and fun. Crab tagliatelle, so Norwegian king crab. Sell caviar here, 1000%. If you want a vessel for caviar, that's your vessel. And I'll give you even talking points like the hot pasta with the salinity of like just the cold caviar, like I actually want to take one and go eat one because I can think about it and taste it all at the same time. That would be really delicious. This dish, you should know, is like one of the first dishes that he ever put on the menu at the Nomad. So this is not my dish. This is 1000% his, but this is just like a little nod to him. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, chef.
So we just finished line up with the dining room. We're gonna dive into tasting now. Guys, can we not pack down the tuna? This one looks great where it's like kind of organic and it's just in there. It doesn't need to be this like smash down moment. Yeah. Make sure that like the oyster's the right side up and make sure that the tail of the oyster or the skirt of the oyster is like either tucked in or like perfect. Yeah. We're gonna head back to the kitchen. We're gonna go see Garmager and we'll finish the taste through there. Garmager, we're ready to rumble? We taste everything for the sheer reason of consistency. Someone might make something today, someone else might make it the next day and make it completely different. I get into everything, open every container, touch everything, look at everything to make sure that like if all 10 components are good, then I know that the final product is going to be exactly what I want. Trash this. This isn't good. All your edges that are brown, they need to get trimmed. This is what I'm talking about. It's like you start touching things 1,000 times and then you're like, yo, there's something wrong. You got to fix it. It's like, call the maintenance man. The maintenance man is here. Literally, it's 5:30. The restaurant's open and I'm fixing screws that aren't tight. But that's what we got to do. That's the job. Let's talk numbers. What do we got?
I have 31.
Including those. Okay. Should be fine. Collars?
Colors, I have 12 and more like that.
Let's make sure we're marinating it like more. You know what I'm saying? Like get the skin side, like let's rub these down a little bit more. So I'm gonna finish tasting, get through the last 2 stations here, and then we're gonna get set up and ready to go for service. So it is 5:42. We are open for service. Guests are in the dining room. There's 5 tables that are seated. Any guest that sits, I'm able to click the table, look at their notes, see anything. It also tells me where they're at in their meal, any VIP notes that I need to know or any guest notes that I should know. Essentially with service, I will expedite. I'll help the hotline finish and I'll help Garmager finish food. The conductor of an orchestra, you know, like it's like telling these guys and giving them their cues and their talking points and their cooking points for what they need to be doing next. Order in 2 top.
Wait.
Let's have a good service.
Wait.
Garmager, that's 1 goldfish. We call out our tickets in a very loud tone. Kind of really just gets like the energy in the kitchen up. Make sure everyone's on the same page. Make sure that we're all working in sync and in harmony. The goldfish. And we didn't want to do bread and butter, so it's just kind of this fun, playful way to start guests off with that cracker or that bread, if you will. So we decided to go with the goldfish. Think of like the cheddar biscuits at Red Lobster's, kind of where like the idea came from and stemmed into this goldfish. So we're rocking and rolling. We have 5 tables ordered. We use cne-us, which is a kitchen display screen. It's basically the same exact thing as like what McDonald's uses. But essentially all of our tickets come up on the screen. I read them, I expedite them, and these guys have a mirror image of like their counts and how many of each thing that they're cooking at any given time, so they know their board. Traditionally, most restaurants have ticket systems where the printer will print a receipt that has all of the items for that table on it. And being in the next generation and ahead of the curve is rare. We want to be with this restaurant. Is this correct on 32?
Correct. It's a group with 6 young people. All of them, they came here just for the experience. They're not hungry, so they order a few things, the plateau mostly. One of them, he's not having seafood, and he ordered the steak.
We're going 2 French fries, 32. Francis, 7-6, drop on top, crab tagliatelle. Drop on top means that they have another snack or another bit in front of them. Typically, we will wait to clear before we drop something else. In this case, it's just more snacks. Maybe the guest has an out time or they kind of want everything at once, so you'll drop everything at once. In this case, they know there's food on the table, I can still drop it. Garmager, you're fried on a monk mousse solo, anytime. Yes, chef. Yo, let's go on a tagliatelle order fire and a cacio pepe order fire. Let's go 7-1 with a monk liver mousse. You know the spiel?
Yes.
Talk to me, tell me.
Pumpkin ray jelly, candy pistachio, celery.
You win. See you later. 71. It is 6:15. We are getting busy. Things are rocking and rolling. I appreciate you guys coming by and hanging out, but it's time for you to go. I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions about your job here, if that's cool. I'm like the ghost here. I don't know if you want to ask me questions.
What do you mean you're the ghost here?
I don't really work at Crown Shy. I'm Danny Garcia. I am the chef of Saga Hospitality's newest restaurant that currently doesn't have a name yet.
Are you allowed to tell us what you're working on right now?
Actually, I can't. Genuinely. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry I couldn't be.
We might see you at the next one.